Welcome back to my channel. The topic for today's discussion is what is pi? Any 7th standard kid will tell you what pi is. Pi is basically the ratio of circumference and diameter of a circle, and its value is 22 by 7. Its approximated value is 3.14. Since it's an irrational number, there are a lot of digits and the value. We are not concerned about the length or value of the pi, but basically we want to know what pi is. Today I will explain what pi is according to my theory. Whenever I say my theory, of course, I mean according to the Gnostic model of cosmos, right? And some time back, I have explained about the different ions we have. Basically, for convenience sake, I associated them with English alphabets. So, for example, A is associated with 1 squared, B is associated with 2 squared, C is associated with 3 squared, and so on. And this is the guy we are interested in. This is the letter K, which is associated with 11 squared, right? So on and so forth. We have the different what do you call the ions, and probably from here the higher ions I have listed here. And the next ion we are interested is V. V is associated with 22 square, right? So let us go back to our topic of discussion here. So what has got 22 squared, the ion 22 squared, to do with our discussion? You might have seen already that the number 22 plays very important role in this discussion, right? The very value of pi is nothing but 22 by 7. So let us define pi in a different perspective, from a different perspective. Let us look at it. For that, we will need to look at something else here. And of course, I forgot the value of pi. Pi is depicted in many monuments, most important monuments. As you might all know, this basically is the Stonehenge. Okay, and you can clearly observe that there is one vertical stone, there is another vertical stone parallel to it, and there is one more stone overhead connecting these two, right? This is nothing but the shape of pi. So you can clearly, and I mean, you can say the value of pi was very important from the time beginning of the time. Here there is one more example from a part nearer to my place. This is basically from the Warangal fort. There used to be a clan called Kakatiyas who ruled this from this fort, and this is called the Thoranam, meaning the gateway. The gateway had, as you can see, here we have the two what do you call pillars, and there is one more stone connecting these two pillars. If you carefully observe, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 bulb-like structures here between these two pillars, right? So let me get back to our subject. What I mean is, all the monuments, the old monuments like the pyramids and even the Stonehenge, uh, as I have just now shown, the gateways, most of the important monuments are in the shape of pie. Why they are in that shape? Because pi is crucial to understand our world. When I say our world, we are living in the age of Internet of Things. See, there are sensors. There is a light sensor, there is a heat sensor, there is a sensor, something like that. There are so many sensors nowadays to measure the each different what do you call entity, physical quantities, like let us say what is the temperature in this room, how much light we have in this room, how much pressure the water is exerting, and all these things we are measuring through sensors, right? So similarly, man has 5 senses, right? Sight, hearing, smelling, taste, and touch. 5 senses we have. So, kind of, if we consider ourselves as a machine, a computer, or yeah, modern gadget, then this gadget has 5 sensors. One sensor to see, one sensor to taste, one sensor to uh, breathe, one sensor to touch, one sensor to hear, right? There are senses we have. So all these senses we have, let's say, let us call them, let us for a brief time, let us call the ear as a hearing sensor, the mouth as tasting sensor, the nose as a breathing sensor, the eye as seeing sensor, sight sensor, and all the skin as a touching sensor, which feels touch. So, because we have these 5 senses, we perceive the world around us in one particular perspective. In the sense, let us say we don't have eye, then how would we have perceived this world? We couldn't have seen the light, right? Just because we have eye, we are able to see. If we don't have eye, we wouldn't have been able to see. So the thing is, whatever senses we have, with the help of those senses, we are able to see this world in this particular manner. That in this reality, in fact. So what if we if we have just now discussed, if we don't have certain senses, how will it be? Of course, it will be very, it will be horrible. We know that, but what if we have more senses, extra senses? Okay, so if you have extra senses, you will be able to see or feel which you cannot see now or feel. You may be able to see a different reality, a bigger reality, right? So let us not deviate. I mean, yeah, it has something to do with this, but let's not go deeply into that. Uh, let's come back to our discussion, topic of discussion. This is the topic of discussion. Let us say, when I said the ion 22 has everything to do with this pi, I want to explain a bit about Einstein's theory of relativity, in which he combined space and time. He called it space-time continuum. That continuum looks like this net. You see, you might have observed kids jumping on trampoline. Trampoline is either made of plastic material, elastic material, or even sometimes net, right? You see kids jumping on the net. The higher he jumps, the more force he jumps with, he goes higher, right? Kids enjoy that a lot. So this, let us consider this as a trampoline. What Einstein said was, space-time is like just like this trampoline, and whenever you place a heavy object like here, it is the Earth, which is shown here. Instead, if you place a sun, some heavy object, then it will create a depression here, right? As you can see, it creates a depression. It is looking like a basket now, right? Earlier, the whole trampoline was like this, straight. It was like a flat surface. But once you place this heavy object, it in fact bent here. This is called warping of the space. So what Einstein said was, when light passes by the side of a heavy object with great gravitational power, then the ray of light will bend around it. So this is basically warping of light, warping of space and time. If you place a heavy object like sun on this trampoline, it if it has enough gravity, if gravitational power, then this trampoline might just enclose the sun. It might wrap the sun around. You will not be able to see sun from outside this trampoline because it covers it entirely. I mean, don't take it literally, but I'm just trying to explain the concept of pi. So that being said, now let us go back to our subject once again. Now this is pi. Yeah. Let us take uh, the 22nd square, which is 22nd emanation, energy emanation, which is letter V. Let us take that emanation, that is basically like a square, right? It's a square indeed, 22 square. So let us drop 7 planets onto that. Let us consider this 22 square as a trampoline and drop 7 planets onto it. Planets are very heavy, they are basically solid planets. There are 7 planets. What will naturally happen, as we have discussed just now, the trampoline will cover the 7 planets. The depression will be created here, and it will take this shape of a sphere, and these 4 corners will fold up, and they will become, what do you call, a kind of a sphere. So this 22 squared is like the surface area will be not like, in fact it will become the surface area of the sphere, whose radius is 7 and whose circumference is 22. 2 pi r is 22 and r is 7 by 2, right? I hope I explained this to your satisfaction. What all I mean is, here if you take, let us say, instead of 22, if you take a positive 11 and a negative 11 and drop here the 7 planets, this will take the shape of a semicircle. This will again take shape of a semicircle, and they will form a sphere. Take the trampoline of 22 squared and drop 7 planets onto it. Because of the gravitational pull of these planets, this energy emanation will wrap around these 7 planets in the shape of a sphere. That is pi, according to me. Now, let us conduct a thought experiment. It has been so from the time we were born, for ages, for the time known. It has been so. The pi has been there, whose value was 22 by 7. We have been using this pi to calculate the areas, volumes of all curved surfaces, right? Not just a sphere, not just a circle. In fact, when we compute the values of volumes or areas of cones, cylinders, whatever has curvature, in fact, pi is used, right? So fine. Now, our coming back to our thought experiment. So with our given senses, we see objects in the spherical shape, and whose this pi governs their shape. Now let us say, if instead of this 11 and 11, 11 plus 11, let us take 14 and 14 here. What is the emanation for 14? 14, the emanation is n, in fact. N is 14. So instead of taking the k, we take n, and 14 here and 14 here. Or, as we have seen earlier, or we can take a trampoline of size, the energy emanation made out of energy emanation 28 squared. Mind you, 28. Instead of 22, we take 28 squared here, and instead of 7 planets, we drop 9 planets onto this. Okay, then what it would look like? It's very interesting thought experiment, right? So if you take 28 instead of 22 and 9 instead of 7 planets, how would it look? See here, 22 by 7 gave us pi. What would 28 by 9 give us? That must also be a constant, and that constant definitely will give you something, some the basis for some other structure. So when you take 28, here this was 11, this was 11. But if you take 28 here, this will be 14, this will be 14, right? Here there are 9 planets instead of 7. So what I feel, you see, this is all just our imagination. And Einstein said, without imagination, there is no discovery. Invention, for imagination is the mother of invention. If you don't have imagination, you cannot invent anything. So 14 and 14 if we take, I think that this 14 will break into 2 pieces, that is 7 and 7. This 14 will break into 7 and 7. It will become 2 pieces, and a peculiar shape would form as shown here. In the sense, this is 1 7, this is 1 7, this is 1 7, and this is 1 7. Those sevens, instead of facing each other, forming a circle, as in the case of 22, 11 and 11 forming 22 by 7, that circle, instead these will face opposite. They will be joined at the center by 5. There are 9 planets. I will tell you why I have shown wrong, what do you call, random numbers here. This won't make sense, right? 1 8 7 4 5 6 3 2 9, right? It doesn't make sense. Very outside, right? But there's a reason why we have to distribute the numbers here. So 5, if you take 9 numbers, 9 planets, the 5th planet is in the center, right? So we place the 5th planet in the center, and there are 8 more numbers, 8 more planets, but since to maintain the symmetry of this shape, we need to balance the numbers here. See, 1 and 9 make 10, right? 8 and 2 make 10. They are balanced. 10 and 10. 7 and 3 make 10. 6 and 4 make 10. So, if you take the total of these numbers, 1, 8, 18, 18 plus 7, 18 plus 7, 25, 20, not quite. Sorry, 1 plus 8 is 9, 9 plus 7 is 16, 16 plus 4 is 20. Here 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 2 is 11, 11 plus 9 is 20. So 20 on this side and 20 on this side, they balance out each other. So basically, what we did was we took 28, a portion from here to here is 7, here to here is 7, here to here is 7, here to here is again 7. That makes 28. We took 28 and dropped 9 planets, 1 to 9. These planets we dropped onto this trampoline. And what happened? The trampoline basically twisted like a toffee. You know the shape of a toffee. In the center there is what do you call, spherical chocolate or something, and around that the cover it twisted. On either end the cover is twisted, a plastic cover or whatever it is wrapped with, it will be twisted in on either side. This pretty much looks like a toffee, right? This is the center, the chocolate. Let us say the planet 5 is the chocolate, and here the this and this is twisted cover. It's a very peculiar shape, but I think it makes sense, and this is how the world with 14, I mean, and 28, if the our reality is made out of the fabric of 28th aeon, and if it has 9 planets, it may sound like you may say it is just your gut feel and nothing more. You may say, but even I won't object. But the thing is, it's not gut feel. The 9th planet has been discovered. NASA has already uh, told us about that. They discovered the 9th planet. They said the 9th planet is disturbing the outer planets, right? It's very powerful planet, they said. And 28th emanation, why I took 28th emanation is, according to the lunar calendar, right now we have 27 stars. So what if we get the 28 stars fully? That is, in Sanskrit or Indian mythology, we call the 28th star as the, I mean, not exactly the 28th, it is the 22nd star is called Abhijit. 22nd of the stars is called Abhijit. So that Abhijit, if it is fully visible in the sky, and instead of 12 constellations, we have 14 constellations, then this exactly is how it will look like, in the sense that the fabric of our reality. You see, this reality is made out of some fabric. If you want to create a shirt, a pant, or any cloth, right? Our clothes are made out of some cloth, right? Some fabric. Without fabric, you can't create a cloth. So, if the fabric that makes this reality that in which we are right now is 22 squared, and we have 7 solid planets, then the rules of pi rules the roost, meaning we have curved surfaces, these circular spherical objects. But when we make this reality with the fabric of 28 square, that is 28th emanation, then it would not anymore be spherical. We don't see circular, spherical objects here anymore, but we will be seeing basically square objects. Square, not with three dimensions. Definitely not with three dimensions. The objects will be mostly either two or four dimensions. So that's pretty much what I wanted to explain today. I hope you'll find it to your satisfaction and enjoy. So until I come up with some other idea, then I want to call it day for now. Okay, see you next time. Bye.